Welcome back, friends. The next session on Terraform with AWS is getting more detailed and comprehensive coverage of instance. Let me open the folder, and you see what you will see here is create a Terraform key in EC2 instance key pair which will be used in the instance. Well, I have created that. We are on the dashboard, and here you can see key pairs on the EC2 dashboard, key pairs. So you can create a key pair and you can download the public key. I created this key recently. You can see that here when I was testing it. And I downloaded the private key, and the private key is available in my directory here. This is the private key which I have downloaded from AWS. So public key, corresponding public key will be available here. Terraform key, public key, and private key you have to download. This is a prerequisite. So create a public key and download the private key. What we will understand in input variable, data sources, output values. So what we are going to learn here is we are going to learn about input variables basics that include a region, instance type, key name, define the security group, and associate them as a list item to the EC2 instance. Meaning that we are going to include that security group as a part of our resource creation process using Terraform. In earlier demonstration, this was done as a prerequisite. VPC SSH, VPC web, learn more about output values, public IP address, public DNS, get least EC2 instance, latest EC2 AMI ID using Terraform Datasources concept, and we are also going to use existing EC2 key pair Terraform key which I've created, and I demonstrated how to create it. Then we are going to this is the first file is c2 variable.tf file. This file have variables, define input variables in Terraform like this one, region, description, type, and the default region. Instance type, EC2 instance type string, and the default type. Then instance key pair, and the name and the default value which is there on the AWS instance page. Then resource variables in respective.tf file. This is the variables file, C2 versions file, where we have regions and the instance type and the key name that will be used, defining the variables. This is more structured approach, better approach to create the instance. This is the security group file, C3 EC2 instance security group.tf file. I'll go through each of these files manually one by one. So AWS security group, the name or identifier to be used by the Terraform, name, description, ingress rule. You should know that what is ingress rule, meaning incoming traffic. Allow port number 22. Egress, outgoing traffic. Then create security group for web traffic. That was for SSH connection. This is for web. And see that EC2 the security group that will be created. VPC web, the description, allow port number 80. Ingress means incoming traffic on port number 80 from anywhere should be allowed. Then ingress, port number 443, from anywhere should be allowed. Then egress, outgoing traffic. If you watch or if you pay attention to these blocks, they are in the key value pair only. If you have created an instance on AWS, if you have created this security group resource on AWS, then you would know that these are all the fields which we need to fill in during creation of the security group, that in inbound traffic and outbound traffic. The name on the console are inbound and outbound. Then list item, this is file number 5. That file has the listing the item, VPC security group IDs, and it will print all the details in the list format. Then data sources, and this is getting all the latest image IDs from AWS. This is data source, reference data source to get the latest AMI ID c5 instance.tf file, and this is the instance finally creating the instance details. Here we are putting all the additional details now. Now our instance creation is getting more and more comprehensive. Instance type is coming from the variable. User data is coming from the file. Key is coming from the key pair from the variable name. VPC security group ID is coming from this list, and type is coming from this. And then define the output. This will print the output for our purpose. That means it will print the public IP address as a DNS entry, and this is the public DNS, and this is public DNS entry and the public IP address. So means that we can expect two output at the end of the Terraform execution. One is the public IP address, and second is the public DNS entry that will come from the instance. And this is executing Terraform command. We have already understood that, and this is the accessing the application and the cleanup process. So let's not waste time. Let's get inside this. If you go slow, you will find that there is absolutely no difference, no explanation needed, because this is the Terraform block was done in the first demo also, second demo also. We know it. Provider block, again self-explanatory, we did it. Then variables part. This is more structured way now because we are creating variables in a separate file. Input variables, AWS region, description, type, and the default value. Cool. So we'll be using this name AWS underscore region. Similarly, instance type, we'll be using this instance type. In the first demonstration, we put it that this value as a hard-coded value, but this time we are getting it from a variable, and the name is stored in this variable default value. Similarly, key pair, this is the description, and this is the default value of the key pair that will be used. So variables are defined in this file, C2 variables file. Next is security group. This is what I explained. The name of the security group that will be created. Point to be noted, it's everything is declarative. We are declaring what we want. Also, first part is a common, and then we have the ingress and egress rules, including the tags. Similarly, this is another security group. We are creating two security groups, if you notice, as I explained earlier, with the default name, ID, and description, and the VPC ID. I hope this is the same VPC which I have created, which I mentioned also. Yeah, it is the same VPC FABA. If you notice, this is the same VPC which I have created. I demonstrated the same earlier. Ensure that you change the name to the default name of your own VPC. Now this will create the security group. Next is the data sources. Next is the instance, and this is the key file now. The image coming from data, AWS AMI, and the image ID. Instance type coming from variable instance type. Subnet ID hard-coded from the list of resources I created manually, prerequisite. User data, same file. Key name coming from variable instance key pair. Security group IDs coming from this variable and the security list, and the name. Wonderful. Everything is done. The output block is to display the output to the user. Look at the block type output. This will display the public IP address of the instance and the DNS name of the instance. Now we are good. Let's start and execute it. New terminal. All right. So let's go to Terraform manifest. Same sequence of steps. Terraform init. Terraform plan. Now after Terraform plan, we need to just verify Terraform apply. Let's execute the command directly because we have already understood, so let's apply it. Terraform apply. This time it will do a lot of stuff, because it will create a security group, it will create security rules. Let's apply it and let's monitor on the console. Particularly we'll go to the VPC first and we'll check the VPC and we'll check that the security group created or security group still exists. So if you go to the VPC, this is the VPC created, and inside the VPC we can go to the security group, and I expect that these two security groups to be created. Yes, you can see that VPC SSH and VPC web, these are the two security group created as I requested. So first one, if you look at the SSH, we'll see inbound and outbound rules, and that was SSH connection which was given in the Terraform. Similarly, outbound rule, you can see the same rule which I configured, that is also available. Let's go back to the second security group, that is web, and here you will find the same set of rules which we configured through Terraform. Inbound traffic, port number 80 and 443, outbound traffic, all traffic. So these are the inbound and outbound rules created by Terraform. This is the additional stuff, these are the additional resources created by our Terraform. Rest everything looks good. Let's see the output, and I'm sure that output has to be displayed, and see, you can see that yes, it is there. Public IP address is displayed and the public DNS is also displayed. So I can open this public DNS, http:// and the IP address. Yeah, it is available through the public DNS. So you notice that everything is done carefully, and we can verify the other examples also, like the connecting through the SSH part also, and this is what we have verified. Let me open the readme file once again. We have done this part. I have just now demonstrated this part. I have demonstrated this app also. Similarly, you can get metadata also, and this is a cleanup part. Now we are good. Now we can clean up. So let me just clean up with the same set of commands. What is the command? Terraform destroy. Interestingly, whatever is created by Terraform, that will be destroyed, including the security group rules and everything. So Terraform destroy. This time we'll learn one extra step: security rules, security group, and the private key, public key. And yes, and that's it. So that's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching.